Hello, everybody. Welcome to the MMR podcast, MMR Off the Air.
Welcome.
Yeah, today we're doing something omega special. We thought we weren't going to do this because guess what? A pandemic decided to descend upon all Americans and kill all our extracurricular activities.
Quite a pleasant surprise.
Yes, it's not going so hot, but guess what? We're here. So let's start things off. How's it going, Ken? How's it going?
It's going. I'm surviving. Things aren't what I expected them to be today, but here we are.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, other than that, have you been surviving the pandemic so far?
Yeah. Luckily for me, I don't know anybody like in my circle of family and friends that have been like personally affected by the virus. I know people like a couple degrees out, but nothing in my personal circle, luckily. But yeah. I've seen it do some stuff to people, and it's super devastating.
Yeah,
it makes me sad.
The effects have not been necessarily consistent. Let's say that. Like my brother got it in
really?
California. Yeah, he's a firefighter. So not only is he trying to survive the pandemic, he's fighting the wildfires out there.
Man, he's got a story to tell for his kids.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Yeah. And actually, he just had one last year.
Oh, wow.
So he has a little infant daughter.
There's a lot going on in his life.
There is, yeah. He got the worst hand anybody could be dealt.
And he's living in California. That's like the wasteland.
He did get very lucky. He did get a seasonal job fighting fires.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Before, he was just looking. So he did get one blessing, but it came with getting sick with COVID. He survived though, and now he's fighting more firefighters. More fires.
Yeah.
Dumb. Okay.
You tried. Don't stop.
I did try. I'll give myself a pat on the back for that one. Okay. But other than that, yeah, everybody's been messed up. And one specific part of America has been messed up, and that's everything that has to do with media, whether that be your TV, whether that be your radio, whether that be your favorite artist canceling their tour because guess what? You just got your promotion cycle yoinked because guess what? Nobody's going to come to your concerts.
Yeah, nobody wants to release music either for that reason.
Yeah, exactly. People have been entrapped into these cycles, so they're getting their music locked in this perpetual cycle of, oh, is things going to get better? And then we find out it's not. And then,
Yeah. And we've also seen people take advantage of the situation in ways we would not have expected.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is definitely cool. Like, right off the bat, I'm trying to think of something like the whole artists who, like, take advantage of DIY, who don't need those big studios, who already have their home studios, the Kenny Beats of the world.
Yeah, they acknowledge that. The feature is now, and they're going to take advantage of it. Like with Kenny Beats, for example, I'm wearing the merch. Anyway, Kenny Beats have created a Twitch channel. And Twitch, if you don't know, has been popularized by being a gaming live streaming service. You play video games, people watch you, you make funny joke, and you get paid. And Kenny is basically... he's not the first to necessarily pioneer the idea of like a musician going on Twitch. Like he had Deadmau5 before. You had a bunch of different producers and artists getting their little wave on Twitch. But Kenny has made a community around it and is actually like wanted to help people and be a good broadcaster and like he does like beat battles and he does giveaways, and now his newest thing is that he's creating like a kind of a meme type of like mixtape series with his audience called Blazer Core, which he recently got an auxiliary tape machine. So he's been making a bunch of mixes onto tape and stuff. So
he's getting serious about this.
He absolutely is.
Seeing him just like come up with new ideas and just like, oh, he's bored in the house for another day. Let me see what I can do to entertain the fans, to come up with new material. And they just keep blossoming these new ideas, new projects, like the Unlocked tape he did with Denzel Curry. I thought that was really cool. And this year seems so long. So like, I'm when I was reflecting back to like projects and albums and movies even that released this year, it seems like it's been so long. And
yeah,
so
like before COVID and after COVID.
Right. It seems like before COVID was like 2019, the sequel, but not 2020.
Like remember the Oscars? Yeah. Like that happened this year. I feel 10 years older. Like Parasite is the fad that has been blown out of the water. Right. Now it's gone.
Or even like the death of Kobe Bryant. Like that seems so long ago.
That even got swept under the rug. And that and recently we just had the Lakers, win the playoffs. So now they're all high and mighty. Obviously, a performance worthy of Kobe's adoration.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely did it for him.
In the grave, But it's things are starting to come full circle for a lot of us, and it came with this innovative ideas from different artists and presence in the media. Like you had different live events like Bonnaroo and stuff. They're starting to go online and be like, hey, we're gonna also play back favorites of our performances that we recorded and also broadcast some live ones from a studio from artists that we picked up and are able to do this right now. And then you have people just totally reinventing the wheel kind of with like Mark Ribier doing his drive-through theater tour.
Oh, yeah,
that he started right when COVID picked up. Like right when the cases started coming to America, he's like, I'm gonna make it work no matter what, and he did.
In his case, because like as soon as the COVID hit, everybody's on their phone. Everyone's like, oh, look at this guy. I remember when he first came on my Twitter feed. I'm like, who is this guy? He's so eccentric. Yeah. He's goofy. I show my dad. He's like, whoa, this is goofy. I'm just like, yeah, this is hilarious. I watch more and more of his videos, and now look at me like subscribe to his YouTube channel and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's his start is through the internet.
Yeah,
and through that experience,
right,
he was able to make a profit and go on tour and stuff while COVID's going on in the very beginning. And because of this, guess what? He got to meet Erykah Badu, and now he's making music with Snoop Dogg and stuff. He's blown up, and not only has he blown up, but his idea for doing the drive-through thing blown up. Because guess what? Comedians are copying his idea, like Whitney Cummings and now Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer. They're on the drive-through sort of comedy show.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before it hits like late night talk show host.
Yeah, like
it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, like, hey, we're going to an empty lot at 3 a.m. to do our late night show. Yeah.
No, but yeah,
like
it's great.
All my like cinema professors or whatever are probably like losing it right now because they're like, drive-through theaters are coming back. I have a new unit I can teach to my to my students
pulling
right
out
now.
The archives, the old material.
Yeah, like, because I remember learning it in my cinema 101 class or whatever.
And me too.
It was kind of blown by because sure it was a thing of the era, but apparently popcorn was more of an important thing than drive-through theaters.
Still eat popcorn to this day.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently not with drive-through theaters unless Mark Ribier is going to perform there. It's a very cool thing to happen.
I'd spend a lot of money on popcorn to see that guy.
Yeah, I think anybody would. But yeah, the new normal, that's definitely what we're dealing with right now.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, Ken.
Well, I wanted to know, was there any concerts like you were optimistic about this year or shows that you already bought tickets for that got canceled or got canned?
Before COVID, I was poor, so I wasn't anticipating anything. But I was hoping I could like roll the dice and get a couple $100 and be like, I'm gonna buy my 2 tickets to Rage Against the Machine and Run the Jewels in the summer because they were coming to Detroit.
They were.
Yeah, and it got destroyed.
Did that get postponed or is it just canned completely?
I don't know. Run the Jewels are gonna tour eventually.
Yeah,
of course
that
they
new
are.
Album. They have to.
And Rage Against the Machine, they'll probably fulfill a promise at least to like Coachella or whatever. But it was the perfect time to do it because of the election year and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect time to make political music. Like, where's Public Enemy? Drop an album.
And I think this Friday on Adult Swim, Run the Jewels are doing a performance.
Tune in.
Yeah. And that's... So they got this huge tour, Shrink It Down. They got one night on Adult Swim.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
RTJ4, it's a really cool album.
Yeah, it is. And, man, just a lot has happened.
Yeah, I didn't have any shows. Like, I was looking at stuff, and I was kind of just excited for drops and releases. But it's funny, I can't even, like, think of the shows I want to go to because, like, I thought Kendrick Lamar was going to drop an album this year. You know what I mean?
Well, on those lines, like, SZA has been, like, pushing, like, yeah, we've been locked in a cycle for years, and we can't release any music. And I just get to release one song, and that's it.
The
like,
one single you guys can just hang on and just eat and just...
Yeah. And she's still mad. She's like, yeah, that's all I can do. And we're waiting for the whole thing to release because TDE, like in 2017, just like unloaded, like blah, saturated the market like, with everybody.
It was like the Dark Lord of Star Wars, just like zapping his music, just
control, blah, damn, blah. And we got a new J
Rock,
yeah,
Blankface, blah.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah, it was a great year.
And it's cool seeing labels because, like, I almost feel like every year there's one label that really just shows out. Like, this might be Griselda's year.
Yeah, it's definitely Griselda's year for sure.
Yeah, West Side Gun, Benny, all those dudes, they just been dropping nonstop.
Yeah,
like,
and Benny still has an album to release, so it's not even done yet. So
it was just crazy.
Yeah, but on the downside of, like, releasing that gigantic tidal wave of artists and releases and stuff, like, we're not going to get it for a long time unless they feel appropriate to release everything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't find...
man.
Yeah, I don't find Kendrick Lamar or Schoolboy Q or whatever to be people to hold on to music. or, cultivate this gigantic, like, project together just to, like, save it for a special occasion.
I feel like West Coast guys don't do that because remember Dr. Dre and the whole detox thing? That just never happened. He even released headphones like for the album that said Detox, and the album just was canned because then he did the soundtrack for the biopic, and Detox is just never gonna happen. It's like those guys are just like, I had that idea, but that's dead in the water now.
Yeah, so, it might be the same way with Kendrick. Like, we heard those stupid rumors about, like, I'm making a rock album now.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, and I don't know what to think anymore.
People just like to say stuff just to stir the pot.
It might be that, yeah. Like, until Kendrick Lamar, like, gets to have a voice again and gets to tell us personally, like, yeah, this is what's going to happen. It's...
This is what happens when you're, like, the top of the top and you live a more private life. People just make rumors about you.
Yeah, true.
This is what happens.
Or, like, they steal, like, demos from you and post it on YouTube.
Oh, man. I feel bad for, like, Playboi Carti. I feel like that guy has leaks, like, every other week.
Like, I don't know.
I mean, people just leak his entire discography.
Yeah. I don't necessarily fetishize, that sort of like, oh, I gotta listen to these leaks or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm much more project to project kind of basis.
Yeah, I mean, the leak is incomplete. They didn't want it out there for a reason.
I didn't even listen to the Donda leaks, bro.
I didn't either. I never listened to the Kanye leaks because, like, they just annoy me at this point.
Yeah.
People just are so impatient. Like, let the man be crazy or whatever.
Yeah. I'm definitely on the same page.
Yeah. Yandy, Donda.
Yeah.
TurboGrafx.
Yeah, that's one of the many, like, downsides of this year is the leaks.
The leaks. Sure. And the teases and the fake leaks.
Yeah.
And the rumors.
Yeah, everything after March is just... It had destroyed the entire marketplace of music, for sure.
And we've also seen, like, people... Heck, we've seen, like, that guy Tory Lanez. He rose and fell. Like, that man literally took advantage of quarantine like no other with the quarantine radio. He was breaking Instagram Live records. He was shouting out Meg Thee Stallion, Lizzo. He's getting cool people on there doing cool stuff. And then, boom, it all goes down to the can. And
for
that's kind of how the year's been.
Know, because I'm not afraid to say this, even as an allegation, Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee
Oh
Stallion
no,
in the
that's
foot.
it's not an allegation anymore. He got charged.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't want to test the Tory Lanez fanboys.
Oh,
that are
no,
gonna
no. Yeah, he
come
shot
up out of
her.
the water and be like, bro, you can't judge a man based on his mistakes. You have to judge him based on his content.
On his actions. How about that? And his actions where he
God.
shot Megan
Yeah,
twice in the foot.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
That-
Go. Woo, woo.
Opinion has been declared, okay?
Yeah, and we love you, Megan. We will protect you at all
Yes.
costs.
Did you see that she recently made a New York Times article? Like, she wrote it and everything?
Word, really?
Yeah. And it's about empowering black women.
I love that. Man.
Yeah, in character, and she killed it. Like, she like took some classes or something. Her diction, and she's very emphatic and whatever words powerfully
maybe?
written. It's
One of them words.
powerfully written. She did a great job at writing it.
I see you, Miss Pete. I see you.
Yeah, like everybody should check it out because it just makes Megan Thee Stallion such a cooler person. Because a lot of people discount her just because she's trying to redetermine what black women represent, you know, and she dresses the way she does, and she acts the way she does based on what she wants to interpret, based on herself, what her ideals are.
I feel like black girls been kicking butt this year too.
For decades at this point.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, in the rap scene, like, they have been taking over, you know, like, move aside, dudes.
They've been showing their stripes for sure.
Yeah.
And
it's been like this since last year, to be honest with you.
Like,
the hot streak just hasn't stopped.
Yeah, and the guys just are not trying to hit back at all. They're
They keep getting clowned, dude. The guys keep getting clowned. Like, Tory got clowned. Drake keeps getting clowned.
Maybe we just live with a bunch of clowns. Maybe that's the reality. And the girls are like, no more clowns. No more clowns.
They put their feet down on their necks.
Exactly.
I love it. Go girls.
Like when you release a song called WAP and it goes #1,
it triggered a lot of people.
You're shooting all those clowns down. You're like, I control the marketplace of ideas. It's my turn.
What a boss move, for real.
Yeah. It fell at the perfect time when nobody was doing anything. They were just waiting.
There was so much stagnance. Like, people kept talking about the big names,
a
but
Big
nothing.
Sean album, but even so, like, it broke the sound barrier for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So other than that, like, this people like raising the attention to like social justice and civil rights in this generation, you know, has been incredible. And I don't know if I necessarily want to get into details or whatever, but just in case of music, like, Black Lives Matter gave us a lot of great music this year.
Yeah. Even Lil Baby, like, everybody was getting their hands in there.
Yeah, like, they like actually felt passionate and wanted like to make convincing, compelling music, you know? Like, a lot of artists that I didn't anticipate like liking songs from. Like, it seems like everybody released their one like Black Lives Matter song and they all did great.
I know. People, it really did feel like they were coming from the heart too, like, which was great.
Yeah, when you're most like baseless, like vain, like rapper, like wants to hit like an emotional side with a Black Lives Matter song instead of making it about himself, you know, that's a cultural issue that needs to be addressed. You know, like, you can't you can't convince me otherwise. Yeah. Or even interpret it another way. I love that now we are sick of like making movements turn into like promotion for like companies or for specific political campaigns. It has been the most direct that it has in my entire lifetime. Like, they list the problem, they show you the solution on how to solve it, and then they just rely on us for the votes and getting it through. Yeah. And that's really refreshing, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
What was I thinking, too? I was, Did you, so like looking back on this year, I know it's not over yet. Like, have you picked up on any new things? Like, personally, myself, I've taken this year to like reflect and stuff. So like, I'm like looking back at old stuff and even like listening in on things that I used to like in middle school and stuff, like going back and listening to like records from like 2010 and like the early 2010s and like reflecting on, man, I really used to like this.
I had two albums that happened to me.
Okay.
So the first one is OK Computer by Radiohead. Because I already love that album and I think it's awesome. But I never listened to it this much in succession my entire life.
Yeah, I mean, the album definitely fits a mood, especially like the last couple months, like that whole like I'm very like this single person in this big world.
Yeah, it's like, to quote so many people that describe Radiohead, like, their music is orgasmic, to say the least. It really...
I mean, musically, yeah, it really makes your ears go like, whoa, like some crazy sounds going on here.
It hit spots in my heart.
Lyrically, too, like...
Yeah, like, I just got really into it, and I discovered new albums, like, from their catalog, like, what's it called? A Moon Shaped Pool. That one I started to love more and more. And that one is intensely beautiful. It's a great album. And I every time I listen to it, I just fall in love with like each of the songs over again in different ways. Like I used to not like Daydreaming at first, which is a really long Radiohead song and kind of arduous and repetitive at points, but it builds to such an awesome point. And at first, the first time I listened, I was like, okay, that had some cool moments, but it left me wanting more. And then I returned and I got more out of it. Like, after having like an expectation of the song, I started to pick up more that was going on. Like, at first, I didn't even notice the bass line, and that's what really got me going the second time. It's like, okay, this bass line is carrying me along this sort of like loopy, you know, Twilight Zone-esque sort of like feel, and this very like beautiful, like a little sitting on a cloud type thing, except that the cloud starts thunderstorming while you're on it. It's that release have been really great. And then the second one is Mama's Gun by Erykah Badu, because I never listened to her. I was just like, I know she's a cool person, and she has incense that is named after her vagina, and she's cool. She's great.
Go her.
I just didn't know any of her music. I know she did neo soul and R&B. Yeah. But what got me into it is that I was researching Jay Dilla, and I was just going into his stuff, and I looked that he produced a Erykah Badu song, and so I clicked it, and that the beat was just like awesome, but in an Erykah Badu way. Because sure, I get that Jay Dilla does like really rhythmically like cool and almost like therapeutic type, you know, thing going on when he makes beats sometimes, and others are like bombastic, like with Donuts. It's really polyphonic and does some cool stuff with his samples. But this one has this really cool arpeggiated bass line, and Erykah Badu is just killing the vocals, and I'm like, holy crap, what's this? Like, this album with this track, and this is the second track, I wanted to do all of it. So I started at the beginning, and it's a funk tune reminiscent of, I would say Betty Davis, if you know who that is, you know, and her vocals are so affectionate and really hit me in a way that I was not expecting at first. Like, she's really digging into her own like little mannerisms in her voice and stuff, and really accentuating that. And then she has songs like Clever, and she's like, she's really reflective and is intelligent about her feelings and how she's feeling in the moment.
It's a very cool way of letting you know how she feels.
Yeah, like especially on the final track, which is Green Eyes, which is about the jealousy that ensues after your partner moves on from you. and gets another person, and the self-destructiveness that comes about, and it's done in this like Billie Holiday, and then morphs into this more modern version of it that tells this like broken heart kind of story. And I love Billie Holiday. I love her to death. She's awesome.
I know you do.
So when it got to that song, I was like, whoa, okay. And this is the finisher. It made me feel a lot of enormous feelings for sure.
Well, that's great, man. Yeah, I've just been jumping around listening to a whole bunch of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
That's the thing is like I've been having so much. Well, like especially like during the whole quarantine thing, I just had so much time. I've just been listening to a little bit of everything. Going back and listening to like. Honestly, I went back listened to a lot of lyrical rap, like Wu-Tang, stuff like that. Trying to see I was trying to figure out like, oh, is some of the stuff like actually that fire? Or is it, people just like to gas it up on the internet and stuff? So listening to like my dad's old rap CDs and stuff like that and figuring out like who's really good, who's got the bars, who doesn't. I was actually talking to my brother. He's like, yeah, I don't like any of these rappers who just be talking about sex and women and stuff. He's like, people like to talk about the women, but the dudes are just as bad. I'm like, yeah, dude, Biggie Smalls, a lot of his songs are very questionable with the lyrics.
A very reflective year. That emptiness that we all felt, we started feeling with older stuff. And that is evident in like TikTok with like the Dreams thing from Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah,
that is on the Billboard Hot 100 now.
I know. Like, Stevie Nicks is probably like, what's going on? Y'all good over there?
She released a new song. Not very good. But anyway, going past that.
No shade.
Yeah, like this year, it's been weird. And podcast wanted to get together and catch up. And like, just say, like, we're experiencing this too, And we have gone through the ropes in terms of, like, what do I do now? Like, it feels intensely boring and also extremely anxiety-inducing all at the same time. And I hope you have a good day, because at the end of this, like, we return to our lives and do what we need to do. But just with this year and what's going around us, I hope you find the time to make yourself have good feelings and experience good experiences and have a wonderful time while we're all sitting here trying to not die from the virus.
Please stay safe.
Yeah.
Please stay safe.
Definitely. Okay. Anything you want to say, Kent?
No. Like I said, just stay safe. That's really the number one thing. Watch out for your family. Watch out for your chickens. Make sure everybody is all good, because you never know what can happen. People are getting hurt left and right, popping up, so...
Yeah, so
be vigilant.
We'll end with that. I hope you have a good day, like I said. And this was MMR Off the Air, the podcast from More Media Records, and we'll see you all eventually in the future.
Peace
Let's
out,
say
Girl
that.
Scouts.
Bye-bye.